Okay, so this tutorial is going to be for a card I am calling the tiered card. It opens landscape wise, and when you open it, you get a set of 2 tiers. So it looks like that. You can see how the mechanism works there. It looks really nice. You have room for extra sentiments and kind of add some dimension to the inside of the card. I was looking for alternatives for this month's paper pumpkin, and I hadn't found anything yet, so I saw one where a lady had made a birthday card with the same fold, so I thought that I would try it, and that's what I came up with. So to make this, you're going to need the following pieces of paper. You're going to need 1 piece of card that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And you can see I've already done some decorative edges on this. You're going to need 2 pieces of paper that are 2.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and we'll be scoring these every 1/2 inch to make our mechanism. And then your 2 tiers, one is 3 inches by 5.5 inches, and one is 1.5 by 5.5. So let's put this together. I am using the Darling Donkeys stamp set along with the goats. What is the name of that one? The name of the goats is Way to Goat from Stampin' Up. I thought what I would do is put these 2 little guys on the front with the sentiment that says, "Hey there, friend." So I'm going to go ahead and stick those guys on the front. Because this card is kind of thick at the fold, I don't recommend putting a lot of dimensionals inside of it, since it's going to already have some bulk to it. Adding dimensionals will just make it more difficult to put in the envelope if you add a bunch of dimensionals and layers. It's going to make it tricky to close. So I've already done my stamping and my coloring, otherwise this would take much, much longer. I'm going to put that. Should probably space this out so I know where this goes better. Put that dude right there. I like it. Our little goat friend. Right about there. So that's the outside of our card. Now to get our mechanism for the inside, we're going to take those 2 pieces that you cut that were 2.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score them every 1/2 inch. I've already scored one, and I'll show you the other. So you're going to score them long ways in 1/2 inch increments. So at a 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, at 1.5, and at 2. Then what we're going to do with these is we're going to fold them into rectangular boxes. So I would fold each of your score lines and then roll it together so that you have a box like that. So we're going to put glue on this edge. And glue the top, which I guess this technically will be the back, but you want to make sure that you get it nice and squared with the folds that you've made. Once you do that, you can flatten it. So when you flatten it, this is how the card will then fold So you're going to want to make sure that that piece of paper is nice and flexible. So there's our first box of rectangle, I guess, and then we'll do the other one. Now, why does that look longer than that one? It's not. All right. Sure look like it. So we're going to put glue on this edge. I'm going to glue this pretty good because this is going to get a lot of motion. And then stick it down nice and solid. And fold it back into a square. So now we have 2 rectangles. And you're going to take your card and you're going to put one of those up against the back. So you're going to want to glue and make sure that that's going to collapse the way that you folded it. So you're going to want to glue it on the back edge and the bottom of your square so that it will collapse. So we're going to put glue on, this is the part that's going to stick to the top of the card. And then this is the part that's going to stick to the bottom of the card. So you want to glue 2 edges, and it usually works best if you glue the 2 edges that you've already kind of creased it to fold flat with. So if you line that up really nicely with the back of your card and the edges, and then you just close it. Excuse me, it should stick really good. Now, I obviously did not think this design through because you can't see my little decorative corners nearly as nicely, but I have a plan for that. So that's our first tier, so to speak. Then we're going to put this piece of paper right along this front edge. I need to give that a few more seconds to set up. So once your glue is set, then you're going to take your card and put glue on this edge. And you're going to take your 3" by 5.5" piece of paper, and you're going to place it right on top of that square. Then I would recommend that you go ahead and close it, because as you close it, it's going to move up just a little bit. You're going to have a small space. You won't be able to see it because we're going to put something in front of it, but you want it to be able to move. So if you close it and then press on it, it'll have the right gap, if that makes any sense. So there's our first tier. Now we're going to take our other cube and we are going to do the same thing. We're going to put glue on the bottom. And you're going to put it just right up next to the other one. And then I kind of like to fold it flat and put the glue on the side that's going to touch our first tier. And then go ahead and close your card. Yeah, go ahead and close your card. I had to think that through for a minute. So you can see our card gets kind of bulky up at this end, but so now we have our second box in there. And you can see that our card is starting to take shape. take your 1.5 inch piece of paper, 1.5 by 5.5, and you glue it to the front of this one. Right about. Make sure your edges line up nice, and then go ahead and just close it. And it'll give itself the space that it needs. And there you have it. As with any piece of paper, it takes some massaging to get it to stand up right when you want to open it. It's best if you let your glue dry really, really well. So there you have your 2 tiers. It should stand up nice. Whoops, piece of paper moved on me. And then you can finish decorating the inside of it. I think I'm going to have to re-stick this because I had something go wrong. That's super crooked. My poor little brain can't do super crooked. There we go. So there are our 2 tiers. Ta-da! I'm going to finish decorating this. I'm going to stick this cute little guy. I think I'm going to put him on this tier with a hee-haw. So go ahead and stick him down there. Put him right there. I just think he's so cute. Kind of looks like Eeyore, doesn't he? Is Eeyore a donkey? I think he might be. Stick our hee-haw. Hee-haw. Right there. And then I colored this little guy brown, and I think I'm going to have him in this corner doing this. So once we stick him down, then you have room for your sentiment, and your card is done. Super easy to put together, especially if you get all your pieces cut out first. You could do more tiers if you wanted more layers. You just have to build more of those little rectangular cubes. So however many tiers you want, you just need that many pieces of 2.5 by 5.5. Now I have made this. I really like this little thing. Came up with that. And I think I'm gonna stick it. Oh, I don't know where I'm gonna put it now. Put it in there somewhere. There you have it. A 2-tiered card. Really simple. Enjoy.